And we've got another good thing for you. ACE Scholarships Program has started up in Mississippi, and David Olson is the founder, and they are up to some really good things. So, hey, David.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am not going to complain. I'm loving the cooler weather and all the changes that are coming with the season, so it's definitely a good thing. I'm also loving what you're doing with your ACE Scholarship Program. So, give us some background. How did this come about?
Yeah, well, first, I got to say, you and Rhino do such a great show. You're both funny. The stuff you bring, just like the last guests, I mean, really meaningful. My mom passed away from Alzheimer's several years ago, and just the stuff that you bring is top-notch, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. ACE Scholarships is another good news piece, particularly for Mississippi. We started 20 years ago, almost 25 years ago, in Colorado with a mission to provide a quality education for every child. And it doesn't seem like it's too much to ask. You know, our mission is to provide children of lower income families with scholarships for private school K through 12 education. And so, you know, we're based out of Colorado. We operate out of 12 states right now. And, you know, Mississippi is the newest. There's a need here. And so I joined the company, and we've launched this program. And just in this first year, we've impacted the lives of 350 scholars, students, K through 12, around Mississippi. So it's really exciting news.
This is neat, David. I mean, you often think about, you know, students in high school already talking about, you know, I've got a sixth grader, we're already talking about, you know, this would be good for scholarships, this, you know, sort of thinking about in terms of college applications and all of that to give to their higher education. But this is the first I've actually thought about, you can actually get scholarships or have that sort of mindset for families or parents who are looking to maybe send their kids to somewhere different, you know, in their grade school. Oftentimes, do you find, David, that it's just they're not, I want to use the word landlocked because that just means that, you know, with water, but they're locked in their location and they're not able to move or afford to move into better better places for schools? Is that one of the main reasons they want to send their kids somewhere else?
It's exactly right. You know, regardless of what you think on the policy side of education, the quality of an education is dictated by 5 simple numbers, and that's someone's zip code. And so, you know, most of the middle and higher income families have school of choice. They can move to a better county where there's better schools, or they can opt to invest in their kids and send them to a private school. It's the lower income families that don't have this option and are really stuck in an area based on the zip code. And that's typically where there are some, you know, lower quality schools and poor education.
And then a parent feels frustrated. So the first thing I hear about this that I like, David, is the fact that you've got an invested parent, right? You've got someone who is looking for ways for their child to get a better education or meet an education level that, you know, meets the student's drive for education. And you always want that person to be able to get connected with it if that's what if they want or sort of desire. And it's not like a full ride. Like you mentioned, they were sort of partial sort of scholarships. So how does ACE match with the families who then become recipients for their children?
Yeah, so ACE comes beside the parents who want to have a choice for their student. And we have a really neat model that's blended. So we provide scholarships through private donors, and we bring that scholarship money to a parent that has applied that wants to make a change and go to a private school. That parent also makes an investment, and it's based on their income, and they've got skin in the game. And the school will also provide a discount on tuition. So it's 3 parties coming together for that student, each giving a little bit so that student has a great opportunity. And you touched on something really wonderful, that we have so many great parents who just want something different for their kids. And it might be an issue of safety at a school. It might be bullying. It might be that they just want the education to be better. And what we found is not only is the education better, some statistics, ACE third grade reading proficiency is at 52%, where the public school students are at 32%. Our eighth grade math proficiency is at 49%, where the public schools is 26%. Staggering differences. But what we find also is that our parents are more actively involved in their kids' education and in their life. They're more likely to sit down at dinner and talk about school. They're more than likely to help them with their homework. They're more likely to participate with school events. So it's really exciting to see. And again, we're new in Mississippi. We've just launched this program, but we're operating in 39 schools around the state. Most are in the Jackson area, I think about 15. The rest are in outlying areas all the way up north to down south in Biloxi and around. And so we're really excited to continue this growth.
Well, you think about, too, when I think everyone would think it's a good thing and would invest in helping families break generational poverty or break, sort of the cycle that we can sort of see that happens in those certain communities. And one way of doing that is getting the children out, right? And you may not physically can get them out due to where their parents are at or sort of the limitations there. But if you can get them out and get them with a higher education, give them the opportunity to dream big and then go on to university or, go into the military or whatever they may want to be, you have now broke the cycle. You've created growth in another direction for the family legacy. And so, to me, the ripple effect behind that, you just don't know, where it's going to go or how it's going to blossom sort of from there. So I think this is cool. So how do people listening to Good Things, David, get involved? Whether they're a school listening that would like to be, that third partner, or they're a parent listening, or someone who would like to support or sponsor. How does all those pieces work?
Sure. Well, you can go to our website, which is acescholarships.org. It's the national website. You can email me directly at dolson@acescholarships.org. We have application process for students wanting to get into a private school and look at tuition assistance. That opens up in February. We make our selections closer to May. And a lot of students hear about us through our schools where we're operating. But if you're a school that's looking to join or maybe have a need, certainly email me. And then this doesn't happen without our donors. And so if you have a heart for giving towards education in the K-12 space, please email me, track me down. I'm on LinkedIn, and I would love to meet with you and talk about some of the opportunities that we have to help the kids that need it most.
And is this children at any age in K-12, David? Is it like elementary, middle school, even high school? I mean, do you have children that sort of are transitioning or getting, or I like that you call them scholars, or becoming scholars at any age?
Yeah, K through 12. And what we tend to do is, if we've got a child or a family with multiple kids, we get them all into that same school. One example, I was at the Redeemer School in Jackson. It's not in the greatest neighborhood. It's an urban Christian school that serves K through 8 for lower income families. And what? I was out there the other day. I went through the tour. We've got a bunch of scholars in that school. So I was checking in on them. And, that whole school is a beacon in the community. It's an anchor for that community. That day they were having Donuts with Dudes, where the male students, the boys, would have their significant mentor or their, father, if they had one, uncles, cousins, role models, come in and have donuts with them. And it was neat to see the community just come together in that school and share some of those moments. And the kids really enjoyed having their mentors there, their uncles, their dads, and so they're building a little community. And I tend to see that throughout the state where we go. It's really impressive, and it's just a great news story.
Well, it's a great story all around, but it also provides hope for parents or caregivers listening that you do have options, even if you don't think that you do, in terms of your children's education, and it's at least worth looking into. So, David, where do we go one more time to learn more about ACE programs?
Sure. The national website is acescholarships.org, and you can email me directly at dolson@acescholarships.org.
All right, David. Well, we appreciate you listening to Good Things and for your time and what you're doing here in our communities. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, you guys stick with us. We got a few more things for you coming up.